Was just your average hockey mom and signed up for the PTA. I love those hockey moms. You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
All right, one of the best lines from the Republican National Convention. That was back in 2008. And today, well, we need her candor more than ever. And in a moment, we'll speak with Governor Sarah Palin. But first, you keep hearing these stories, and we want to get her reaction to this. For starters, earlier this week, we told you about Tom Brady's supermodel wife, Giselle. She was taking a lot of heat after she was pictured right in an ATV, helmetless, with her young daughter in her arms. We also got a lot of feedback on Twitter and Facebook about the new show that's called Friday Night Tykes. In case you missed it, here's a clip. Should get you fired up.
I teach these 8-year-olds every single day. You're mommy and daddy's little boy, and they love you dearly. But when you come to that field, now you're a football player. You transform it into something else. When they put that helmet on, it's time to go to battle. Kick butt! All day long! Some kids are your everyday kids that just want to quit. You allow them to quit on the football field, it's going to be okay to quit in the classroom. It's going to be able to quit on jobs, be able to quit on life. Let's go. What's the matter? I don't care how much pain you're in. You don't quit. A lot of kids are soft nowadays. I think they're pampered too much. I think we need to be a little ruthless with our kids. You stopped. You stopped right here. Don't stop. Use your weight. Go with it. Sometimes parents say I may be crossing a little bit of the line. Go!
And joining us now on the phone to give us a little parenting 101, former Alaska Governor, Fox News contributor Sarah Palin. Governor, how are you?
I'm doing great. That's funny you say that was one of the best lines of the GOP convention back in '08. That's when the teleprompter broke, and I had to start ad-libbing right then. So I ad-libbed that line about hockey.
I got to tell, if you ad-libbed that line, I have even more respect for you. You know, it's funny. We often talk about politics, but when I've had the chance to be around you and your kids and Todd, we talk a lot about sports, and you and Todd in particular, you guys have a lot of perspective on it. When you saw that TV football tyke show, what did you think of that?
Well, I agree that too many American kids are pampered, they're coddled, and they need discipline. And the way to motivate kids, though, is not necessarily through fear, not at that age especially. You know, I think it was Lou Holtz who had said it best years ago about self-discipline leading to success and self-motivation. So these coaches, if they want to get their kids to understand that self-motivation that is so needed, it at that age, it doesn't necessarily need to be through intimidation and fear. These coaches seem to be wanting to not look bad, and you can guarantee a coach can be defeated if that's his goal, is to just not look bad.
I think you sent over pictures of your son when he played hockey, and you were that hockey mom with lipstick. And my kids play sports. I think there's a fine line, though, because I do believe in many ways we kind of spoil our kids. I think that there's nothing wrong with pushing them and letting them see that they have more talent and ability than maybe they think they have, and that if they want to achieve a goal, they got to work hard for that goal. And learning that at a young age is a good lesson. So it's a razor's edge, isn't it?
I guess it's a razor's edge, but, you know, my perspective is I want tough coaches. I want coaches who will instill in that student athlete the desire to win, because competition makes everyone better, and the goal should be victory. And, you know, I've taken heat because I've said really good things about former Indiana coach Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
I really like the guy. And
I like
really
Knight, too.
His,
you and me both.
His tenacity, his determination. You're right, there is that razor's edge, and the good guys, the good coaches, know when it cannot be crossed, and they know kind of the demographic that they're working with in terms of the age group, and they should be discerning enough to know what will motivate the kids. But I totally agree with you. You know, too many kids are spoiled and coddled by us, by society in general, and sports, I think, are absolutely instrumental in teaching a child what it's going to take to succeed in this world. Sports are imperative, and it is all about competition. So I want to see more and more kids involved, and I want to see the parents, I want to see the coaches in there, but we have to make sure, that line isn't crossed. And I've never seen this reality show that you're talking about. I don't know if it's going to kind of promote that line to be crossed. I certainly hope not, because there's enough good, positive stories out there about successful coaches and selfless, giving
Well, one
parents
kid
and
throws up.
organizations that are helping kids.
Yeah, Governor, one kid throws up. Governor, listen, I enjoy the time we have talked about sports, and you know a lot about it. Any picks for this weekend, by the way?
Oh, I love Seattle because they're closest to Alaska.
Okay.
That's kind of our team.
All right, I got Seattle, and I got the Broncos, although that Tom Brady's sneaky. You can never bet against him. But all right, thanks, Governor.
Well,
good to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Go West Coast.
All right, appreciate it. And okay, let me start with this. I'll tell you why I love sports for kids, because you learn how to win, you learn how to lose, you learn that the harder you work, the better you're going to do. It's the reward system. It's not the redistribution of wealth. Liberals today, they don't even want kids to keep score. And you can't play dodgeball because some kids. Wait a minute. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true.
I agree with everything you just said.
Everybody gets a trophy. Exactly. Right? It's nonsense. But yeah.
It is one thing to push your kids to excel and want to win. It's another thing to put your 8-year-old outside in 99-degree weather in Texas and work them until they vomit and then work them more. NFL officials said that clip was hard to watch, and I have to agree with it.
Your husband played in the NFL, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And I asked him about the story, and there's a thing with the context of these kids is formative years when you're building character. And if you want to instill hard work and discipline, it's not through fear, but it's through conviction. And that's not emotionally intelligent in the way they're doing it. You need a quality person before you have a quality athlete, and the way they're going about it is definitely not.
All right, maybe they're pushing him a little. I would agree. What I see, if they made the kid throw up, you probably push him a little too hard. But with that said, I do agree that there are kids that are pampered, they're babied, right?
They definitely have.
All right, everybody, go ahead. Yeah.
I watched this trailer. Now, I don't have children, but I have a brother. And I know that there are boys who would have a ball getting out onto that field and crashing into one another.
Exactly.
And that there are boys who would be miserable at it. It comes down to the parents knowing their child, knowing what their child's limits are, working with the coach on that. I can tell you, kids bursting into tears because their parents worked them too hard at violin. This is about, children's
because they shouldn't be playing violin, they should be playing sports. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's a mixed bag with this coach here. I think it seems a little bit young. I think half of them will take it well and become future special forces officers. The other half won't not take it well and become future serial killers. So you have a mixed bag on both sides.
Here's a question. How many think American kids, generally speaking, when they all get a trophy, they don't keep score, you can't play dodgeball, that we're pampering them?
You know what?
Go ahead.
Occupy Wall Street was, right? They just want more and more and more, and they don't want to work hard for it. We have this entitlement mentality among people my age.
As a mom of two young boys, a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, I
Yeah.
have to tell you, and my 10-year-old is a hardcore.
By the way, you're about to have a baby.
And we're having a third.
And your 10-year-old
And it's
is
a little girl.
what kind of sport does your daughter play?
My son is a baseball player.
Baseball player. Okay.
But I have to tell you, we see this all the time, but there is a happy medium behind this. And this show is an atrocity. I'm sorry for children and for parents out there because they are pushing these kids. They are cursing at these kids. That's not what the coaches, that's not what the parents should be doing.
It's obviously for the show. It's mostly staged, and the coaches are playing it up. In my experience, I've been lucky enough to play high school football, college football. We had very tough coaches, good coaches who I'm still close to, who helped me become the person I am now. And sometimes they screamed, but sometimes they took it down a notch. You have to know what to do.
As Michelle pointed out, this type of parenting is leading to an entitlement society because young adults went out and voted for Obama in droves, and look at what we have
and
today.
they get to stay on mommy.
No, it's an entitlement society, entitlement mentality. It's not
lost control. And they get to stay on mommy and daddy's insurance till they're 90. All right, we got to take a break.